Bismillah. Let's quickly take. Are the child custody rules the same if it's a khula? Yeah, it's the same. There's no difference. Khula is when it's the financial payment. From your experience, how has it gone for people who tried to marry second wife, sometimes done secretly? I'm sure you've seen. How do you think I'm sure you've seen? What does that mean? Secretly, you shouldn't be doing it secretly, that's for sure. There's no barakah in any marriage. The whole maqsad of nikah, you know, when a marriage is done secretly, you know there's some problem. The whole maqsad of nikah, the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "A'linu hadha nikah." Why are you hiding for? Secret marriages don't. See, it's true, I've seen a lot of things. Most marriages, second marriages that are done secretly, they don't survive. It's just lust. It'll be there for a few years, 1 or 2 years. It'll be talaq, and the woman will be in a problematic situation. I honestly do not. First of all, if you're doing a second marriage, I really don't advise that as well, in this day and age. It's halal, it's permissible, but I don't really advise it. One is difficult enough for people. So really, like I was saying yesterday, it's mostly lust-based. You could have 3, 4, and you still won't be happy. Sometimes there is a genuine need. Sometimes there's genuine needs. So if there is like a genuine need, then just do it in a nice, normal way, like a proper, have a big, massive walima nikah in Jam'e Abu Bakr Siddique radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Second nikah, no problem. Openly. There's no need to do it secretly. And especially with you sisters, if any man is wanting to do nikah secretly, just no. Just say no. Then they'll all get sorted out. No for secret marriages. Because the only person that's going to lose out is a woman in this case. They will use you, abuse you, and when they've done their job and they're finished, satisfied, they'll move on. Then they'll find another one. So, no secret marriages. If a woman's husband is in jail for a 25-year sentence or a life sentence and he refuses to divorce, she can get a fasq? Yes, she can do, definitely. Actually, there's whole fiqh rulings that if it's like more than a year or 2, you can get fasq. So definitely you can get fasq, but the people who do the fasq, then they will look at the situation, etc., and then see. Let me take one from the sister side now. There's so many questions, subhanAllah. Does the talaq still get counted if husband says it casually? If you don't do this, I will give you to you. No, that's not, because he's saying, I will give you. He can say 100 times, I am going to, I will give you, I will give you, I will give you. It's not about a divorce. It's present tense or past tense. I have given you, or I am giving you. Not I will. Whenever the word I will comes, there's no divorce. And he has a habit of uttering it often. Don't have a habit. You have to tell him, stop this, because next time this I will turn into I am giving you. And then it'll be a problem. Just the word divorce should not be in the vocab of any couple. Just take that, it's the taboo word. Just say this house, we don't use the word talaq and divorce. Just never use that word. Unless you have to really sit down and discuss it, because there's a lot of problems in the marriage. When is it right to address porn issues to children as a parent? There's no specific time. I can't say like 9 years and 3 months and not 10 years and 4 months. Each individual person is different. Look at your children, see how they are. Be careful, envisage, be careful, be on guard. Sometimes, like the brother was asking me right now in the break, sometimes what's good is just talk about these issues in a very casual manner, generally, not too much. And rather than telling them about it's haram in Islam and all of that, talk about, that's why I was talking about the harmful effects. So maybe like you can just, when they're like about 14, 15, maybe just say, some people see things inappropriately, this This one person, he stopped his studies, he's not successful in life, he's become lazy, he's become withdrawn, just general harms and this will cause a hatred for this in their hearts. What age is appropriate to read the book Pornified? I don't know, it just depends. I think for a bit of adults, maybe like 18, 19, like from the late teens adults, I think. I don't think for young teenagers, 19, 20, from that age onwards. How do we control porn addiction in children? Because they have many to... Same thing. Cut off the means. Don't give them their own phones. Have a control over their access to the online, internet. Have securities on your laptops. On TV, have parental control. There's a lot of ways. Have parental control passwords. Like if they're on the TV, until they, they don't have access to any of this. There's lots of ways. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Can you see the difference? There's a page written here, there's 2 lines written here. Remember yesterday I said women like to express in a more detailed way, there's no problem. Neither this is better, neither this is better. It's just difference. I'm not saying this is bad or this is bad. A man will say 2 lines, a woman will say, nice, long, and then she's got an arrow here, and all. So it's quite long. Okay. I'm just thinking, this looks a bit clear. When considering when considering a divorce as a woman, what is the role of the parents, her parents? If the parents disagree, how do you approach the situation? Again, like I said, with parents, talk to them, discuss it with them, and you can mention the reasons why you want the divorce, and see what they say. So you don't have to obey them, but respect for them is necessary. So, with respect, with hikmah, with wisdom, talk to them. Reason with them, inshallah. Does it lead to divorce if you are in an argument and another family member is there, your sibling, and the husband tells the sibling in front of the wife, I will give, again, I will is never a divorce. Don't worry too much. I know it happens very easily, but it doesn't happen just like that. I will. Future doesn't occur. Okay. If a husband divorces his wife 3 times, does he still spend the iddah at his house? Yeah, she does. Iddah is supposed to be done in the house where the divorce occurred. If you don't want her to spend the iddah at your house, then send her to her parents' house, let her live there, and then give the divorce. Then the iddah will be there. So you move wherever you want the iddah to take place, go and stay there before the divorce. Because the house you were living at, not just like visiting, living at, like that's your place where your belongings are and your clothes are and everything, that's the house you have to perform iddah. Unless then there's exceptions, like, the house is unsafe, etc., etc., then there are exceptions to the ruling. Women's rights are well known amongst both spouses. However, I feel like men have minimal rights. Brother is saying this in marriage, probably because I don't know any. What would be? No, men don't have minimal rights. It's because you're living in North America, that's why, because they always just talk about women's rights here, that's why. If you came in England, the wife will be saying it looks like all the rights are with men, but some men do feel here that all the rights are just with women. And I've seen this, I've been coming here for many years. So, it's equal, don't worry. And like I said, rights, marriage is not about our own rights, it's all about giving. So about what rights we have to give. So besides sexual, there's so many other rights. A woman smiling at you, that's a beautiful right. Just imagine, your wife smiles at you. So much enjoyment in that. We don't think about these things. She spoke to you in a soft tone. Did I deserve that a woman spoke to me in a soft tone? I didn't deserve that. Outside marriage, no woman should be smiling at me. She smiled at you. She came and, pressed your shoulders. These are things we just I'm saying generally in life, men and women, we take things for granted. To be happy in this life is take each blessing. To take each blessing and appreciate from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're drinking water right now, did you deserve that water? There's people in the world who don't have water. We are human beings, kafura, we complain, we just look at negatives too much, we don't look at the positives. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. When your husband is angry with you because you do not want to join the gatherings that has music and then intermingling in it, whether it is from his side or my side, what should a wife do? Don't make it as a personal argument with your husband and issue. Rather deal with it in an Islamic way. Say, look, half the problems in life could be solved in the way you deal with them. You say, you know what? I would love to come in this gathering. I want to come and I'm crying. Why can't I want to come, but there's music and it's haram, but like I'm so gutted and I want to come. I can't, I'm going to miss, your companionship. How will I be at home without you for so long, and then your family and, I want to be by your side and, I want to be with you and do all of that, but I'm crying. I want to be practicing. I don't want to disobey Allah as well. And say, no, don't, it's okay, don't come. Because it's haram and Allah has told me not to, but I'm so sad that why can't I come, Is it possible for them not to have music there or haram things taking place? People will reason with you. Rather than you say, no, but they're haram, they're not practicing, I'm practicing. I don't do music, they're corrupt, okay. He's going to become more aggressive. It's just the way how you deal with situations, people become less aggressive or more aggressive. So, if it's clear haram, then of course you can't go because there's no obedience to the creation when that results in disobedience to the Creator. Is it understandable that a husband psychologically needs to feel respected from his wife? However, is there such thing as showing him too much respect that can lead him to have an ego? Give him an excuse to giving him, look, until now I was thinking, but now giving him an excuse to verbally abuse his wife. Look, if you're just thinking this, that it might happen, but there's no reason for you to think this will happen, then why are you thinking that I shouldn't respect him too much? There's sometimes this happens for women, like they play hard to get. Like I shouldn't, I need to stand on my ground, I need to not be walked over, etc. If I be too nice to him, then he's going to be this. Why do you anticipate all these things? Just best of relationships, best of people are those who are just natural. Just let everything naturally flow. A man who is just natural, a woman who is natural. Just make your relationship. Don't play mind games. Don't play mind games. The mind games are problematic. You get depressed yourself with mind games. Easygoing people without just natural relationship. Don't worry, if I say he's going to take advantage, and why are you worried about all of these things? Yes, if there's a genuine reason that he was verbally abusing you, then yes, that look, he's going to start abusing me, I have to stand my ground. Then there's a reason. But without a reason, just thinking that this will happen and that will happen, I don't think we should be avoiding things, just how you feel. Sometimes you want to go and really, I want to go and press my husband's feet, but if I do that, then he's going to get, he's going to get ego. I'm stopping that. Just follow your heart. What would be a good strategy? Anyway, okay. That was the same question, by the way, not another question. If a husband and a wife get a divorce, khula, does the man's ex-mother-in-law still remain a mahram? If a husband and wife get divorced, does the man's ex-mother-in-law, his wife's mother, still remain mahram, if the marriage was never consummated? What's the verse of the Quran? The mothers of your wives. So even if the marriage wasn't consummated, your ex-mother-in-law, you can never marry her ever, and there's mahramiyya without consummation. وأمهات نسائكم وربائكم اللاتي في حجوركم من نسائكم اللاتي دخلتم بهن. Whereas for the woman, the father-in-law is only when the marriage is consummated. Just nikah will not make the mahramiyah. It's in the Quran, so it's a simple issue. Okay. There's the long questions here, long questions. If one is a child of a divorced parent and has parents using the kids to get back at the other, I'm not getting this. Even close to 10 years after divorce, what should they do? The anger and hatred will not end, is ruining our lives. How should one respect, treat, obey the mother and father? Mostly mother creates harm, but father continues. If you have divorced parents and has parents using the kids to get back at the other, I'm not really understanding this too well, so let's just leave it for now, inshallah. If fasakh of nikah has been done, then after several years, if they want to remain, can they? Yes, fasakh is like, I think, one talaq, if I'm correctly understanding, and then new nikah would be valid. I think, I'm not too sure. I'll have to double check this, whether it's, but I think it's just one talaq bayn, basically, which is not mughallaza. But I'm not 100% sure. You could just double check that or ask someone else, inshallah. Let's take this one. Can you explain the 3 divorces again? When does it become irrevocable? When in marriage you have 3, final divorces are 3. So if there's 1 divorce, then after that you can get back together again, whether it's a new nikah, the new marriage, that's after the waiting period, and if it's in the waiting period, then you just take the wife back. But then that's 1. Then in the future you could give a 2nd divorce, and when you're in your marriage you have 3 divorces, then that becomes absolutely final and super irrevocable. So basically 1 is revocable and irrevocable. There could be 1 but non-revocable. That's why I didn't talk about this, but there's 1 talaq. For example, a man says to his wife, I'm giving you irrevocable, non-reversible divorce. So that's 1 but non-reversible. What does that mean, non-reversible? You can't get back together again in the iddah. If you do want to get back together again, then you can do so, but through only a nikah. So 1 can be non-reversible. Reversible means like without nikah, you can just take your wife back. You can just say, here, come here, give me a hand, back. Just pull her. So 1 reversible, non-reversible basically means that without nikah. So you can have 1 reversible, non-reversible. 2 can be reversible, non-reversible. 3 is always super non-reversible, because even a nikah is not possible after 3. Another 5 more minutes, inshallah. What do you do when your spouse tells you during arguments that I will separate again? Who wants to live with you? You're such and such type of women. Yeah, it's bad. Words like that are not good. Not good. Like I said, the tongue. جراحات السنان لها التيام ولا يلتام ما جرح اللسان. Wounds with the tongue sometimes are more harmful than physical wounds. So really control the tongue. Whether men or women, control the tongue. Sometimes some men, they think that, because sometimes women are affected more with what you say than men. That's how it is. So some husbands don't realize. They just think like, they think they're just talking to their mate who they used to hang around Tim Hortons with. Like you say, oh, you know what, you're like this and that, and he's forgotten. But she will remind you after 34 years and 53 days that in 2014, when we were both down here, you said this. I still got it in my head. It stays. So don't say things like this. Like, control the tongue. Even women, sometimes women use the tongue as well. Like, that doesn't mean that everything's halal and you can just use your tongue as well. No. Control the tongue. We will be questioned about what we say with our mouths. The tongue is a very delicate part of the body. So, I think that question was done. And if you want a divorce, look, don't keep on talking. There's 2 things that people keep on doing. Men. They keep on talking about second wives, but they're never going to do it. And they keep on talking about divorce, but they're never going to divorce. Don't keep on talking. If you want to do a second wife, just do it, but don't keep on talking about it. Don't give a slow, painful death. Slow, painful death. I'm going to get a second wife. I'm going to get a second wife. He's not. I'm seriously, sisters. If he keeps on talking about it, he's not going to get one. That's why he's talking about it. He's just trying to make himself happy. The ones who actually want to do it, they don't talk about it. They just go and do it. So, and I said, I don't even recommend, to be honest, second wives, generally. So, and divorce as well. Don't keep on saying, I'll give you a divorce, I'll give you a divorce. It's like a threat. It's actually, the fuqaha write about this. It's sinful, haram for a man to keep on threatening his wife with divorce, psychologically. Yeah, I'm going to divorce you, I'll divorce you, I'll divorce you. That's not what a man does. If you want a divorce, okay, go ahead and do the divorce. This is not like a dhikr of Allah, subhanallah, 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 I'll divorce you, I'll divorce you, I'll divorce you. And then someone's asking these words like alag kar diya and things like that, whether it's kinaya or not. I don't think so. I haven't read it properly, but most likely it's not, unless it doesn't have the intention of divorce. I can't read this too clear, the writing is not too clear, so let's leave that. This is a brother, but it's long writing, so. Okay, what is the hukam of paying court-ordered spousal support after divorce? What is this? I mean, I don't really know what happens here. Court order paying something after divorce? Yeah. So what happens? Like,
husband has to pay the wife for the support of the child. The court orders it, a certain amount.
Whose child is it? Someone else's child?
Husband's child.
His own child. You don't need a court to tell you have to spend on your own children. Come on. That's the problem. People think when you divorce, your child is now the wife's child, not my child. It's your own children. If it's more, they're asking for something else. But if it's, you have to, Islamically, you have to pay for your own children anyway. After talaq, don't think your children are no longer your own children, men. They are more your children. They will always remain your children. And women don't make, take away your children from their fathers, like I mentioned. So if it's court order payment for children, then you should be paying for your children. Look, when divorce takes place, there's child custody rules. The man has to pay for the iddah period, Islamically, for the wife. That's basic requirement. After iddah period, he doesn't have to necessarily pay any money for his ex-wife. It's good if he does, but he doesn't have to. But he has to pay for his own children, because they're his own children. So now, if the children are living with who? The mother. So, for example, they're renting a house, for example, and you've got 3 children, they're your children as well as a husband, so there's 4 people living in that house, then you will need to pay 3/4 of all the costs of that property. If you don't want to pay for your ex-wife, fine. But you will have to pay 3/4 of their lodging, of their rent, of the electricity bill, the gas bill, everything. Until your children don't become baligh, they're your children. Whether they were living, one brother said, but how much, she's demanding this much. And I said, forget all that. If they were living with you, how much would you pay? I'd pay this much, which was more than what she was demanding. So why you want to pay less when they're living with... Do you understand my point? When they're not living with you and they're living after talaq, why have they become less of your children after talaq? Yes, sometimes your ex-wife makes them less of your children, then yes, you can understand. That's why women don't cut off this relationship. Let them, send them, go and live with your dad. Let him take you, you'll spend all the money, go holiday, you spend, buy them everything. Stay with your dad, and then when you come back here, then go back there. This is an amicable divorce. The more connection that your ex, the father, will have, the more he will want to pay for his children. So, anyway, there's a few left. We need to end now because time is short and I need to go somewhere for good. I'm just trying to see which one's the shortest type of. If muscular fit, I think that's what it's written. Fit husband keeps constantly criticizing his wife's figure. Could be, she's asking, could be porn addiction, could be, I can't say 100%, it's possible. A marriage that is good but has some become dull after years. This is very common. It can be, look, no marriage will remain in terms of sexual relations as it was on the first night or the second night. Not possible. It's normal. You increase in love, however. So, what are simple tips to improve marriage? I can't really say, I'm not like an expert on this. I know I've written a book, but I'm not an expert. One thing that comes to mind, like I was saying on the first day, when you start off marriage, don't go into each other too much. Remember I was saying Ibn Hazm or somebody said, وَلْيَكُنْ لَهُ فِرَاشٌ وَلْيَكُنْ لَهَا فِرَاشٌ. So keep the separation a bit from the beginning. Like, in the beginning you can't leave each other like this, holding everywhere, cuddling, like you're sitting in front of your parents, cuddling, like next to each other, first week, like cuddling. Then you've done all your cuddling in 2 weeks. It's 50 years. 50 years of intimacy, you've done it in 2 weeks. Relax. You need to spread it out for like 50, 60 years. Easy, take it easy. Don't go too crazy. Then inshallah it'll be spread out. It's just one thing that's come to my mind. Allahu a'lam. Yes, can you address phone cell usage ruining relationships? Of course it does. Not just in a haram way like we were talking about porn, etc. But honestly, this is actually a very important point. General usage of the phone, it's really a marriage wrecker. One of the worst things you can do is you be with your family and you're constantly on WhatsApp. Constantly on your phone. That's something that really irritates me, you know. It's like you come inside the house and on the phone, like leave it, put it away. Constantly people on phones, husbands, wives. This phone, you know, it causes a lot of problems in marriage. If you need to talk to someone, fine, here and there, it's okay. But after that, you should have, like I said last year, every family should have like a 2-hour gadget-free zone. 1 hour, 2 hour, whatever. Everyone in the house will put away every phone. Everything, every gadget technology will be off. The Wi-Fi will be off from the mains. Can you have like a system like that, company, that every day between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m, no Wi-Fi? Is it possible? How do you know that? This just came to my mind right now. Okay, that would be great. You should do that. Sorry? And then just TV, laptops, everything. Like 1 hour or whatever. Have a proper connection. Father, mother, brother, sister, everybody together. Like in the house. Talk to one another. So, that's one way, inshallah. I think I won't be able to finish this. I've done most of them. It's 12:29 and 12:30 is max now. Anything small here? Okay, this one's a bit long. What if you're in an incompatible marriage after divorce and divorce is not an option because there are children involved? Then do sabr, inshallah. Inshallah, I'll give you a lot of reward if you look down, or because it's looked down upon. Okay. Is there rewards? Yeah, there are rewards. If you do sabr and you, of course, sabr and you remain in that marriage and you don't want to just go for a divorce, of course there are rewards, inshallah. Allah could give you Jannah for that if you want. You don't have to, but definitely you can stay. Okay, this one's done. Can a man marry a woman of another madhab? Sikh. What does this mean? Can a man marry a woman of another madhab? Sikh woman. What is it? Another religion. Yeah, so that's like Sikh, yeah? You can't marry a Sikh now. I hope that's what they're asking. I hope they don't mean Madhab, Shafi, Hanafi. Is that even a question? The problem is we've made Hanafi, Shafi as though it's Hindu, Sikh, Christian. Anyway, I think we'll end with this, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Sorry, I couldn't finish these questions, but hopefully whatever's been covered, Allah grants us benefit and give us the ability to act upon it, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.